Greetings, everybody. The following conversation was with a guy called Crewe. Graham is originally from England, and he's been living in Salzburg now for 15 years. He's also the creator of the English Speakers in Salzburg Facebook page, so it was fantastic to sit and have a conversation with him and ask him how it all started, as well as his experience living in Austria and in Salzburg. He's got some awesome tips for not only me, but I'm sure a lot of other expats. So I hope you enjoy the conversation. As a quick reminder, I'm also posting a lot on my Instagram. It's at @wingitlad. So go and check it out. I'm sharing my life here in Austria. So if I learn a new German or a new Austrian word, or maybe even if I go and milk cows in the farmland. So if you do want to check that out, go to my Instagram at @wingitlad and give me a follow, give me a message. I'm always happy to chat with people and meet new people. So, but anyway, I hope you enjoy the podcast. Cheers. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, Graham, thank you so much once again for coming.
My pleasure.
I appreciate it. You just live 270 meters, you said, down the road.
Yeah, 220 actually.
220, which is very convenient. So cheers. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I had no excuse not to come when it's so close.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you could explain, I don't actually know your story at all, really, of how you came to Salzburg, how you came to Austria, and maybe how long you've been here.
Yeah, well, I've been here for 15 years,
okay.
Or very nearly. I think it is actually this summer, 15 years. 15 years, which only embarrasses me because my German is, so bad. I remember at the beginning when I met people, I'd been here for 4 months, and I was talking to people who had been here for like years and years and years, and their German was so fantastic. And I thought, in 15 years' time, my German will be as good as that.
Yeah.
But it's definitely plateaued at a pretty poor level. But I was teaching in a school in the UK. It's a pretty boring story, I'm sorry, but I was teaching in a school in the UK, and my wife now was teaching there as an assistant, as a language assistant, and that's how I met her. I took her to a rugby game.
Cool.
And we lost, so I didn't take her to another one.
You were playing, were you?
No. I was watching.
Oh, you were watching. Okay.
Yeah, but yes. So that's how we met, and she then had to go back to Austria, to Linz, to do her final year of her teaching qualification.
Okay.
And then she tried to get a job in the UK. She came back and tried to get a job as a teacher. But in the UK, we're so bad at languages. We're so bad at teaching languages, and we're so bad at getting people to learn languages that she couldn't find a job. There were no schools teaching German anymore.
Okay.
So she just could not get a job as a German teacher. So we said, okay, plan B. I'll come to Austria and we'll see if I can get a job.
Awesome.
Here.
What year did you come here?
It must be 2006, if 15 years.
2006.
Yeah.
Crazy. You've got a few more years on me, that's for sure. I came in 2019.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. But this
flies.
Yeah, and this is the thing with doing this podcast, is that I meet so many people that have complete different stories, It's so fascinating for me. How did you end up in this country? Because everyone, I've made friends here and stuff like that, and everyone's different. There's no story the same. So, yeah, awesome. And you started the English Speakers in Salzburg Facebook page, which everyone that I know knows, because it's such an awesome community to find out things about Austria and Salzburg and how to settle in here and meeting people. And I think even I've met a few friends through that page, which is a huge help when it's trying to settle into this country. And so I'm interested to hear how you started it and your thoughts, and I guess when did you start it and stuff about that.
Well, it's all quite bizarre, and it's all by accident.
Okay.
But I actually looked up yesterday before talking to you to check my story. When did Facebook start having Facebook groups? And the answer on Google is 2010. But it started in 2007. Okay. So I don't know, but it does. I've still got a screenshot of the first
really?
Message in the group. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still know who the first member of the group was, and it was in September 2007.
Crazy.
So that's nearly 14 years ago. And from my memory, Facebook had just launched groups.
Okay.
And I was I'd just joined Facebook. I'd read, because I'm a teacher, I know what young people are doing, and they were all joining Facebook. So I thought, okay, I better join Facebook. Then along came groups, and I thought, okay, well, I'll set up a group. I'll make a group. What shall I make the group about? I don't know. I'm in Salzburg. I don't know. By chance, English in Salzburg, English speakers in Salzburg. And it just sort of started by accident. And then I think I forgot about it for a long time. Or I don't know. I don't have any memories of it for a long time. And then suddenly I noticed that it had like 300 or 400 members or something. And I thought, oh, this is a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've got a responsibility. It's my baby. My accidental child has grown up, and I've got and it sort of grew from that.
Yeah. Organically kind of grew. I guess people came and they searched for groups in Salzburg, like for help. Yeah.
I think exactly, and I don't know why the first 400 people even joined, because nothing was happening. No effort, zero effort was involved. But since then, of course, it has continued to grow. And I think there's now, yesterday, 6,000 members of the group, which is really crazy.
That's awesome.
I can't say that all of them are in Salzburg, but I try pretty hard to filter out those who are not in Salzburg.
Yeah.
Or
Salzburg or in Austria?
Well, there's two. There's the English speakers in the Salzburg group, which has got 6,000 members. Then there's the English speakers in Austria group, which I just started a year ago, which has 4,600 members, I think. So, they're fairly similar. They've got different cultures. The two groups have definitely got different cultures. The Salzburg one is definitely more intimate and more helpful. But it just really started by chance, and I sort of took more responsibility for it as it got bigger, and had ideas and put them into place, and that's what the group became.
Is there like regular events or something that you can promote or share? Because you said there was a meetup yesterday or something.
Tonight, yeah.
So is that a regular thing, or?
It is. It started, I don't know, not that long ago, just before lockdown. We maybe 18 months ago now, we started having a first Thursdays at Restaurant Club.
I see.
And it used to have sort of 12 people coming to it. This summer it's had 64 people coming to it twice, and tonight we've got 40.
Okay, cool.
We're in the Stiegelbräu tonight. We try to go to a different place every time, but when you've got that kind of number of people, there's only a limited number of places that will give me 64 reservations, especially without paying a deposit.
Okay.
And I'm not paying a deposit for 64 people who may or may not turn up.
Exactly.
So it's it's tricky, but it's great. These are really great things. You never know. I mean, there's a sign-up list, so I see who the names are on the list, but basically you never know who's going to come each time, and you get a different crowd. You always get some people who are brand new in the city. There's often somebody who just arrived today, and you're like, how did you even do this? But they just sort of came along. And it's wonderful. The thing I love most about this group is that it's not for, and this is by chance, it's not for British people in Austria. It's not for English native speakers in Austria. It's really for anybody who doesn't speak German very well. And that's actually really by chance. I don't think I intended that particularly, but actually that's, I think, what gives it its niche. There are so many people who from everywhere. There's Afghani refugees in the group.
That's crazy.
And they all 64 of them come along, and you meet some really, really surprising people, and it's wonderful.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
If anyone's thinking about not sure what we're talking about, you can go to Facebook and just type in English speakers in Salzburg and just join the group, because it's a fantastic group. And if you're here, and even if you want to, German speakers can also join, right? I guess.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. We have, as long as they are prepared or want to improve their English or want to work on their English, then yes, there are always some people in the group who come along to the restaurant nights who are Austrians living in Salzburg, and they would enjoy speaking English. So it's really, this is what is so wonderful. It's really so wide. Networking in Salzburg, in Austria, is a very, very important thing for job hunting, for problem solving. There's so many Austrians who, if their fence is broken, they don't phone up a building company or email a building company. They ask a friend, and they've got this network, and the network fixes it on a Sunday. And of course, as an immigrant in Austria, you don't have that network. So kind of building your own network is really, really important when you come to Salzburg.
I realized that because when I came here, my girlfriend's husband.
That's not right.
My girlfriend's sister and her husband are building a house, and I was helping them build the house. And I soon realized that these aren't necessarily paid tradies or paid workers. These are his friends. One's an electrician and one's a bricklayer or whatever, and they all like work together to create this house. And I was like, that was when I first started to realize that these connections that you really, like you said, you need in order to, for example, fix your car or whatever, you know.
Yeah,
it's a lot different here. It's awesome though. It's really good.
Yes, it's very different here. And of course, as an immigrant, you're very cut out of this network kind of system. And it's important. It's really important that you find a way into it, into networks. And of course, some people can do it through their partner.
True.
But looking for jobs, a lot of people find their jobs through a connection, rather than because there's an advert in the newspaper or whatever. So it's really important. And this group can help with that to some extent. Although, of course, having English-speaking network is no doubt not as good as having a local Austrian network, but nevertheless.
Yeah. And so, for someone that's been in Salzburg as an expat for 15 years, you must have, or you might have experiences, or you've seen people come and go. Is there any unique experiences, like, for example, people that have learnt German really quickly, or people that haven't? Or is there any questions that are constantly asked, or is there anything that you, with your experience in 15 years of being an expat here and running this page, that you can see often coming up?
I don't know, that's difficult. We used to get loads of questions asking from people asking where they could get their nails done or whatever, or their hair done. It became a bit of an in-joke that another person was asking this question. But when this kind of problem comes, it just gets me thinking. And so I created a collection of frequently asked questions posts into an FAQ section of the homepage of the Facebook group. So those questions don't come anymore. Nobody ever asks, where can you get your nails done anymore? I think the two questions that we often get are from people who haven't yet arrived, and they're like, we're coming in 3 months' time, we've got a job, probably for a soft drinks maker in Fuschel. And which area of Salzburg should we live in? We get a lot of those questions, which are kind of quite difficult to answer, actually. Because, I mean, you can do it very stereotypically and say, well, this area's got a terrible reputation and this area much better. But, everybody's got their own background and their own interests and age and needs and whatever. And so it's very, very difficult to say. But the area we live in, here in Parsch, is definitely, there's an awful lot of
fantastic,
English-speaking people in this area. It's funny. It's really cool. So that's definitely a question that comes up a lot. I guess questions about schools for kids come up every now and again as well. But I don't know. I don't think we really have a question that is like really, really, really often coming up. Of course, where can I get an English-speaking job?
That's what I asked when I came here. It's like the first thing I remember writing, and this is how I got a job as well. This is crazy. I said, hey guys, I'm from New Zealand. I'm looking for an English job. However, if anyone needs help, with the garden or this and that, I'm basically home all day, so I will give you a hand as well. And I got a lot of really awesome comments saying, welcome, welcome, welcome. But then one guy said, apply here, or send me your CV. And then that's how I got a job.
Oh, wow.
So
and that was through our group.
Exactly, yeah. So this group's responsible for me staying in Austria, because if I didn't work here, I would have had to go to London or something.
Yes. Now we've got a dentist in the group who I know said to me that I think approximately half of her patients have come from the group.
Really?
Which is it's awesome. It's really cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. business opportunities for sure.
Yes, yeah. Well, I mean, the group doesn't really have an ethos. It's just here to help everyone, I think.
Exactly.
So anything that it can do to help people is really cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of the goal of it. Yeah.
When I think of people that are expats and people that are not expats, essentially, so expats, non-expats, when I communicate and talk to an expat or someone that's had to live and adapt to a new culture, I find them different. The interaction is different from a person that isn't an expat. I was chatting literally earlier today with a guy called Alex back home in New Zealand, and he's been living there. He's 23 years old, and he's never left, kind of thing, as in to live in another country. And I think that as humans grow up, they are manipulated by their experiences that they face, and we face as living in a different culture a lot of quite tricky and difficult and complicated situations. I said to you before, like just going to the pharmacy and asking for some medication is a difficult task because you need to think of the German and then this and that you need to say. And do you agree with that? And do you think that what do you think about when you communicate with expats and maybe sort of people that have had the chance to have to adapt to like different cultures and stuff like that?
I'm really interested in the same thing. I teach a little bit about cultural awareness in school, and it's fascinating. I think on the surface, when I teach it to 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, they're like, whatever. Chinese, they're different. You business deals a bit different, but yeah. But no, it's incredible. It's incredible how the differences between someone from the UK, probably someone from the south of the UK even, are different to someone from France or from Germany or obviously from Austria. I think it's really, really fascinating. Certainly as a teacher in school, I could never imagine when I first arrived in Austria that the school system would be anything other than basically the way it's done in the UK. And everything is so different. It's poles apart. It's ends of a spectrum. And I still, after 15 years of teaching in a school in Austria, I still am like, I wouldn't do it. That's not the way we do it in the UK. It's different. I don't think it's as good. Sometimes it's better. Of course it is. I mean, Austria is fantastic for its apprenticeship system. It's really awesome what kids learn in schools in the apprenticeship system. But some things in school are just really weird. Like there's a law, I think, that says you can't do a test on the first 2 days after a holiday. I mean, fair enough. It's good not to have a test the first 2 days after holiday, but does it need a law? I don't know. Common sense? I don't know.
That's hilarious.
I don't know. Some of the things that are in law, it's like, I don't know. Did they really sit down in Parliament and
decide on this?
Decide on that? Get a lawmaker to write that up in a legal form? We're in lockdown, it was schools were split into a shift system, and kids were in either Monday, Wednesday, Friday of 1 week, or Tuesday, Thursday, and it sort of alternated. And then we had, I think, the Easter holidays. And again, there was a law that said the Monday, Wednesday, Friday kids from before Easter had to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the first week after Easter. It's like, I don't know, does that need to be a law?
Yeah.
Can't a school make the decision of how the shift system exactly works? I don't know. It's really bizarre. So yeah, I'm often kind of a bit mouth open, like, I didn't know that. That's weird. So culturally, it's really weird. I love the little differences. Like as a British person, I just can't help saying sorry all the time. So if somebody bumps into me, then if they bump into me, then I instantly and spontaneously, without being able to stop myself, instinctively say sorry. And it happened to me just quite recently, I think 6 months ago. Somebody bumped into me and I said sorry, or Entschuldigung, and he replied to me, passt schon, it doesn't matter. He bumped into me
and then you said sorry, and he said, "Oh, it's okay." It just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
The interaction leaves you thinking
it's really weird. But it's just a cultural difference. It's not a negative. It's just culturally different.
There
100%, are many of these little cultural differences that I think are so incredible, because I don't think Austria and Britain are poles apart. but the cultural differences are really, really interesting. There's the funny thing, if you walk down a corridor and someone's coming towards you, then that you sort of play that dancing game, like going left and right, which way are they going to go? And in the UK, we do this frequently, and it's always a bit of a smile, and you end up almost crashing into each other because nobody ever decides. But that never happens in Austria, because everybody always, 100% of the time, goes right. And it's just a cultural, I don't know, it's incredibly culturally ingrained to go right. And when you finally figure that out, you suddenly stop bumping into people in the corridors here. In the UK, you do it all the time. So it's funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that do make sense, and there's a lot of things that don't make sense though too.
Yes.
It would be almost good if you could take the good parts from here and put them in our home or your home, and the bad parts, you get what I'm saying. Swap the good and the bad. Some of them, it's not necessarily that one is bad, it's just one is different. It's just a different approach to life. And I mean, I love living in Salzburg. I love living in Austria. So I don't want to sound like I'm complaining about Austria, because I'm really not at all. It's a wonderful place, and I've had 15 very happy years here, and I'm not planning on leaving. It's wonderful. It's awesome. Speaking of that, then, what's the few best things, activities, sights to see in Salzburg from your perspective?
Yeah, it's so hard, because I don't know. I mean, you can say this as a tourist, or you can say this as a local, can't you? Really?
True. Yeah.
And I mean, the Augustinerbräu is just fascinating. I go there very rarely. I don't drink very much. I go there very rarely. But when I'm there, it's culturally so interesting. The whole getting this kind of earthenware mug and washing it in a fountain, and the person fills it with beer in 1.5 seconds or something and throws it at you across the bar. And it's so incredibly interesting there. You can I've been to a birthday party there where everybody came with a rucksack full of hot food and stuff, and it was all put out over the tables, and it's completely fine. It's completely normal. It's really fascinating. So that is a place that I think anybody who comes should definitely experience. What else? Oh, there's so much I love. I mean, I love outdoors. I love the Seewaldsee. It's a little lake in St. Coloman direction, and it's just beautiful.
What's it called?
The Seewaldsee. So the Lakewood Lake. Seewaldsee. It's really special. It's a really beautiful place. It's very small. They've made it a bit more difficult to get to with car parking, I think, in recent years. But it's a really incredible place to visit. So that's definitely something to see. All the Sound of Music sites. My family, I've got 3 girls. My girls love the Sound of Music, and you can't help but be infected by it, and enjoy spotting all the locations in there. That's such a cliche, but I do love it. There's coffee in 220 degrees is wonderful. There's the Kunstverein, the Salzburger Kunstverein. Do you know the?
No.
Oh, it's wonderful.
I need to go to these places. I need to take this advice tomorrow and do this.
Yeah.
So what's
the Kunstverein? So it's the Arts Association.
Okay.
There's a big red building on the Salzach. It's by the Justisgebäude.
Is it like a science?
Nope.
No, sorry.
No. It's opposite the Volksgarten, if you know where that is. That's not very far from here. On the other bank of the river. And it's there's a Canadian guy who is the director of it, a guy called Seamus.
Okay.
And it's very, very international. And in summer they have a lot of openings, so a lot of exhibition openings. And it's a wonderful place. You get 50 or 100 people turning up for this exhibition opening. There's free beer, by the way, which free Trümmer Pils beer, which doesn't hurt at all. And you just have every single time a really interesting conversation with a random person. There's one guy last summer. I was talking to, I don't know how, but I was talking to an old guy. He was like in his 80s, and he had 2 people with him who were like his minders. And I was talking to him, and they were saying this guy is a boxing legend. And I mean, I don't know, I've lived in Britain a long time, and I've not met many boxing legends. In fact, I don't think I've ever met a legend of anything. And you go to the Salzburger Kunstverein and you meet what's his name, the König, something the König. I can't remember what his name is now, but anyway, if you Googled boxing legend Koenig, Kenny the Koenig something or other,
Okay.
then yeah, he represented Austria in the Olympics in 1972 or I don't know what. And he's got up on an elm somewhere, he's got a boxing studio or whatever. And I just had this most amazing, slightly drunken conversation with a boxing legend one night in the Kunstverein. It's a really special place. Yeah,
that sounds awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I love the passion for that in your voice for that. I need to go check that out 100%.
Yeah,
and take your advice.
It's great. Yes. You've got to check it out online. There's a lot of stuff going on, and it's always interesting. Sometimes the art is not my taste, not my style.
Okay.
But that's what art is, isn't it? It provokes you, it pushes you, it makes you think about something in a different way, and just. As I said, the breadth of people you meet there is wonderful. Yeah.
So with your time here, have you had any memorable or funny or embarrassing moments with like speaking German or something? Like I was one time at a bar and I was ordering a drink for myself again, and I said, kann ich bitte noch ein Cuba Libre haben or something, instead of no, I said lucha libre or something. And basically what I ordered was a kiss or like something like that. And then everyone at the table, the Austrians at the table were like, you know what you just said? And the guy who took the order was like, obviously he understood and just walked off. But it was so embarrassing because I just asked him for a kiss or something. And
Yes. I don't know. I'm quite good at blocking out all of these embarrassing, awful moments.
Yeah, you kind of have to.
You do, just sort of march on. But there was a time when quite soon after I first got here, we had a 1-year-old daughter, and we were at a lake, a fantastic Austrian lake, and we brought a jar of food, baby food. And I was sent to the kiosk at the lake to ask if we could get a bowl of hot water to warm it up in. So off I went to the kiosk, and in my best German that I probably practiced on the picnic blanket just now 30 times, I said, kann ich bitte ein Schüssel gekochtes Wasser für das haben? Demonstrated with my hand what I was looking for. And so I asked it in what I thought was perfect German. Her reply to me was, I'm sorry, I don't speak English.
And she responded in English.
She responded in English.
It's ridiculous.
To my German question. Yeah, I just really thought, okay, I'm out.
Yeah, this is one of those moments where why do I try?
Yes.
I've just spent 30 minutes trying to wrap this sentence through my head.
Yes.
And you tell me, I'm sorry, I don't speak English.
Yes, I know. I just don't know what you can do. We also went for a walk on one of the mountains in Berchtesgaden with the kids some time ago. And there's an Almhutte there, a beautiful bar at the top of the mountain. And we went in, and there's a very elderly woman serving. And I asked her if we could have glasses of Apfelsaft gespritzt.
Okay.
She had absolutely no idea what I just asked for. Apfelsaft gespritzt. And
sparkling apple juice.
Apple juice with mineral water.
Yeah. And
she had absolutely no idea. And the problem was that her dialect on that side of the mountain was German, was Bavarian. And I should have asked for an Apfelschale. And it astounded me that, this is a mountain you can probably see from Salzburg. It's that close. And I used Austrian German, and someone in Bavaria didn't understand me at a restaurant ordering something because she only spoke Bavarian German. Yeah. It's really strange. You hear this thing how in different valleys they have different words for things, and Austrians, when they meet from different valleys, they always have conversations about, we say this and you say that and whatever.
It's remarkable.
It's really remarkable. It's really incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
We also had a thing. There was an event at a school, and a woman came. Again, an elderly woman came from Dusseldorf, I think it was, and did a presentation to parents at a school. Not something at my school, at my kids' school. And she was speaking in Hochdeutsch, so in standard German, and very clearly I understood everything. I followed what she was saying with no problem. And then at the end, she asked if anyone had any questions. And all these Austrians put their hands up to ask questions. And she just could not understand them.
Really?
And she kept saying again and again, sorry, what did you say? And I felt like putting my hand up and saying, well, I speak Hochdeutsch. I mean, I can understand. Shall I translate between the German speakers? It's really weird. Yeah, it's really funny.
It's demotivating. It makes you think like you're getting on a good track by you getting a good Hochdeutsch, or maybe even you learn a bit of dialect.
That's right.
And then you drive 30 minutes down the road and you just lose all hope because they say a different word in a different way there.
Absolutely right. Yeah, you do. You do.
I've had very similar situations. It's quite frustrating.
Yes, it is. There are, yes, as you say, there are good days when people understand everything you say, and life seems to be good. And then there's other days when you just it's a blank. This happened actually very recently to me. I took my daughter to hospital. She hurt her leg doing parkour, and we went into the hospital, no problem, to the Unfallkrankenhaus, the accidents and emergency place. And we went into this, we were sent into a room with a nurse for the triage, to decide how urgent it was. And it was a huge room, and my daughter hobbled to the end of the room and sat down in the only chair that was there, and I was just closing the door and about to walk down the room. And the nurse there said something to me. And what I was thinking in my head was, there's only one chair, I'll stand, no problem. But there's also a chair on the left at the back that I could get or something. And then she said things to me, and I couldn't compute in my head what on earth she could have just said to me. And it was something to do with a chair, but she didn't look at the chair or seemed, I don't know, it was really weird. I was like, I don't understand. So can you say it again in German? And she said it again. And I was like, no, this is making no sense to me whatsoever. I've been here for 14 years and I don't understand the words that someone has just said to me walking into a room. And what she actually said was, go out down the corridor and you'll find a wheelchair for your daughter. And I don't know, it just totally went past me. But when I got back into the room with this wheelchair, she then spoke to me like I was a complete idiot, saying, where in Salzburg are you from? And using her hands for enormous gestures. Are you from in the town or outside the town? All in basic German. And I was just like, oh God, again, why do I bother? I don't know. I'm getting nowhere with my German. Yeah. It's really awful.
Bit of a predicament.
Yes,
a mixture of Austrian and German.
Yes, it's really challenging. Just like you said, sometimes you think it's going really well and there's no problems at all, and then at the dentist, I was at the dentist today, no problems at all with the whole thing. But then just in a hospital, similar situation, no idea what she just said to me. Yeah. I think your brain has to, for me anyway, I've just never been able to make German sort of equal to English as a sort of as a first language. So there's always sort of some kind of translation going on in my head, and I think you're always looking for things to grab onto. And if I don't find those things to grab onto, if I've just got no idea what the topic is, then I find it really hard. Still, after 15 years, frustrating.
Well, thank you, Graham, so much for coming. And I wanted to ask if you had questions for me, or if you had anything you wanted to say. Or,
No, I think this is such an interesting project. I'm really looking forward to diving into these podcasts and finding out about them. And, I love the cultural aspect. I love the fact that, a bit like the Facebook group, that you're looking at people, you're interested in people from all different cultures, and that for me is such an interesting thing. So I'm really looking forward to that. And of course, I would just encourage anybody who's in Salzburg and speaks English to join our group, because it's a community, and it's great to get that community to grow. It's
such an awesome community, 100%. Well then, thank you so much. I really appreciate it again, and I look forward to keeping in contact and everything. Yeah, no doubt we'll see each other in Spa now we've finally met each other, and bump into each other on those random meetings that always happen in Austria. And thank you. It's been a real pleasure for me. I've really enjoyed the experience, my first podcast. Awesome. So thanks a lot.